Hello, what's up, guys? It's Will here for the Cash Lift episode 6, UFC 259, Blachowicz, Adesanya, betting chat, betting discussion, just having a look over some of the bets that I could be making, just some bets that we can maybe find out that I might like here. So yeah, I'm just really looking forward to this card. I can see Irish Brother is in the chat there. It's like, great fights this week. Absolutely agree with you, my man. I hope you're well. So basically, if you're new to the Cash Lift, it's basically where we look around and we kind of talk through each fight regarding a kind of betting perspective, whether it's a fight that I like, a fight that I pass. But also you guys have to have a big shot of this as well. You leave down what you like, whatever it may be, and maybe I'll learn something off you guys, which would be great. I've had a great betting year so far. I had a great month of February, my biggest betting month of all time of just crazy profit. So hoping to kind of keep this going with this card, but I do think it is a good card, a lot of good spots I'm looking forward to. So if you're new to the channel, hit that sub button, still try to hit 4,000 subs, and please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment with your DraftKings picks, your bets, some spots that you might like, some underdog picks, some parlay pieces, whatever it may be. So I've kind of got my co-host in the back there who's kind of sleeping away. I don't know how long that'll last, but yeah, I've only got one bet so far for this card. I'll talk about that once we get into it. But I am probably going to have my most amount of bets this year, I think, on this card. It might be a little bit too much, but I like a lot of spots. I like a lot of spots this week, and there's some good. I feel there's some good underdog bets. I feel there's some good parlays that you can put together, and there is props that I quite like. And like I said, I'm not a great prop better, but something that I've picked my spots with recently very well, and hopefully I can kind of do that here with some of the spots that I kind of do like right now. So like I say, I'm going to kind of go over Tapology, best fight odds, bet MMA tips. I'll show you where some of maybe a lot of the kind of betting community, the online betting community is kind of moving, and see what they're betting as well. So I will move this over to this here. Go into the card. Like I say, leave some comments in the chat below. I'll get back to you as soon as we can. I'm going to dip in between that, and we'll kind of go through some of the fights and some of the spots I like. So up in the very first fight of the night, one I've got a really close eye on for the simple reason I really think Mario Bautista, for some reason I kind of get that gut feeling he's going to be a really good, sound, solid fighter. Like I say, and he's still very, very young in his career. I think he was only a pro in 2017, so still got a lot of experience to kind of garner. But you've got Jones at 12-6, Bautista 8-1, fighting out of Guam, which is not really particularly known as a great big fight country, but you have enough people coming from there. I think that Frank Camacho comes there. I think he's been Extreme Couture, far more experience, double the amount of experience that what Bautista has. He's had a couple of kind of sketchy split decisions in there, has Trevin Jones. I just really like Bautista's aggressiveness. I really do. I think that he's a really good. I just think he's got the potential to be a really good, solid fighter, especially the people that he's coming through with. And like I say, he's patched himself a couple of wins in the UFC. This is an outlier here where he came in there on very short notice, and then he got the opportunity to kind of get a better fight here. Jinsu Sun won that one very convincingly, in my opinion. Then this one here, it showed you that explosiveness that he has. So going down to the betting lines, like -230, so that's kind of shortened a little bit. He was -240. I don't think he should be overly as high as that. I think -200 is probably a spot where I would cap him, but I actually don't mind possibly put him in a parlay this week. I know some people have kind of been talking up this guy a little bit. I think he's a decent parlay piece, but there is some spots here where it's a little bit, you have to be careful at who you're putting together. And but for me, out of the parlay pieces, I have 4 or 5. Obviously, you've got your Ulberg, you've got your Sean Brady's. There might be other people further up there. Let me see. No, but maybe some people are parlaying Lemos at -235. I wouldn't do that at all. This number's kind of enticing to me a little bit. But Makachev, people are going to do that. There's better spots, I think, for that. But when you look into it, I've picked Mario Bautista to win by knockout early. So I don't know what his knockout prop is. Bautista plus 375. I actually don't think that's a bad bet. But like I say, you're against a guy with double the amount of experience that you have. So I'm pretty close to actually betting Mauro Bautista and put him in a parlay with another guy I'm going to speak on very, very soon. But like I say, if you're chasing dogs in this one, Trevin Jones, with the amount of experience he has, I just really like this kid. And I've seen a lot of people saying some people are overhyping him. I might be the case. I might be on that. But I like the optics, what I see with the kid. And I think that right now is not the worst case in the world of parlaying him up. Like I say, I do think the line's a little high, but I've got no qualms about betting kind of minus 225, which is here in the UK. So yeah, actually, like I say, I'm really interested in seeing this kid at UFC 259 because, like I say, I think he's got the goods to be a very, very, very good fighter eventually. Might not be now, but I've just got a good feeling about him in the spot. This is one here that, for me, it's dog or pass. Uros Medic against Elon Cruz. The betting line is showing minus 160. That's kind of came down a little bit. Plus 140 in Elon Cruz, who's moving up to 155 pounds. This is his first fight since his knockout loss to Spike Carlisle. So that's not a great look, but you've got a guy here, Medic, who, in my opinion, like I don't know why. I think the betting line should be a little bit closer, in my opinion, because when you look at Medic's, like his fights, especially, I mean, you can look if that is the region that you come through on, then it's fair enough. But I mean, these fights here, you can watch these fights on UFC Fight Pass, and they are not good looking fights. Honestly, I don't. This guy gave him a massive belly to belly suplex, but then was just kind of lost in the guard of Medic, and Medic got a triangle choke off the bottom. Then this guy, I don't know how this guy was undefeated. He was just wanted to grab a leg from the get go. And this guy here, he didn't. I don't know how he managed to go in the Contender Series because he was just spamming kicks. But he has got some dangerous traits to his game. He's got some big kicks. He's got some big power with those kicks, and he's a big guy for the division. Cruz has got the more experience. He's been out in Vegas for this camp here. Like I say, he's not got to kill himself with the weight cut either. So I'm leaning on the dog side here. And I love this fight. This was obviously a great fight and a great finish as well. But that's not a bad win. Steve Garcia, who's in the UFC now. But yeah, I'm on the Elon Cruz side. If I was to make a bet on this fight, I would bet the underdog Elon Cruz. I think he's a little bit higher here in the UK. But plus the thing with Medic here is that he's blasted all these kind of not great fighters with inside the first kind of 7 minutes of the fight. We've never seen him go into the late parts of the fight. If it goes into there, I think Cruz could have his way with him a little bit. So Elon Cruz is definitely going to be my pick there. I actually think Elon Cruz via decision might not be the worst kind of prop bet in the world, and it's plus 320. Cruz inside the distance, plus 390 if you think that he could maybe get it done late, possibly. But I like Elon Cruz. I think him by decision is what I would play if I was playing maybe a prop bet in that one. But that's kind of where I'm going in those two fights there. I'm going to go back into the chat because I can see some of you guys there. They've left some comments. So who have we got? Grungios. Cruz an underdog and Paddy Power. Which Cruz? Because both the Cruzes are actually underdogs this week. Irish Brothers got a parlay. Izzy, Jan, Brady, Elliott parlay. Like I said, I don't really like going too high in that. My parlays, because I'm betting a little bit more than you are. But in fun parlays, I might throw a tenner on, stuff like that, and see if it comes through. But I try and save my money in that with that. Elliott Espinosa fight doesn't go the distance. I'll need to have a look at that line in a little second, but that's not too bad. Elliott grinds him out, in my opinion. UFC 099, I hope you're well, man. I know you're in here quite regular. Adesanya and Jan Sterling over 1.5, minus 104. I like it. I think I'm going to stay clear of Adesanya this week. I think I'm kind of on the verge of maybe betting him and put him in a parlay, but I don't know. Just this move up against Blachowicz, he should, in my opinion, when I think about this matchup, I think he should blitz him pretty easily, because I think that Jan is so flat-footed, and I think he's going to come in and just eat a shot at some point, and he's going to be out of there. So that's not a bad parlay. I'll be honest with you. I actually quite like that. Trevin Jones, he's never been knocked out. First time for everything. I just feel he's going to get caught. If not, I can see Bautista winning that decision, but we'll see. Adesanya by KO, TKO plus 150 on Paddy Power. Like I say, I'd rather parlay him up than props. I'm not a good prop better. So yeah. Medic's Cruz fight doesn't go the distance, minus 200, not bad. I would just rather take the shot on Cruz personally. So he'll knock out Jan every time a champion has fought another interim champ. The challenger always wins by KO within 3, wearing white and gold. Well, we'll see. We will see. Jack Attack, what's happening, my man? Hope you're well. I think it's a bad week for guys named Cruz. No. If you're meaning Casey Kenny, then I'm growing more and more confident as the week goes on in Dominick Cruz. I'll be honest with you. I think he could 30-27 Casey Kenny this week pretty easily as well. So we'll see. I'm doing well, thanks. Hope you're doing well. I'm doing very well, thank you. Yeah, what's up, Pooch? Just noticed here. Elsa's fast asleep there. I probably just woke her up, so she'll not be happy. I know she's pissed off now, so I shouldn't have mentioned her name. So what's he saying here? Is he saying he's going to come in light and looks bigger from training footage? I don't know how much I kind of believe that, if I'm being honest with you. So I don't really believe. I think he's going to be heavier than that. Playing games, it's not a bad thing there. So we'll go back into this here. We'll see where we're at, because like I say, we've got 15 fights. If we don't get through some of these fights, we're going to be here all night. So UFC 259. If it likes to work, it's a bit slow tonight, guys. Apologies. Lavinia Souza against Amanda Lemos. I just mentioned that this line to me is off. This was off when I did my predictions on Monday, and it was plus 175. Now she's coming on at plus 200. If that line starts going up, I kind of feel like I want to take a shot at Lavinia Souza, and I don't know. I've been very picky with my spots in this year. My betting record kind of shows that I've picked out good spots. This might not be the best spot, but the betting line to me is kind of getting a little bit out of hand, because I mean, Lemos has looked good in her 2 fights here against Inoue, against Miranda Granger. Both girls are black belts. She spams her right hand. She really hasn't got much else when it comes to striking. So Lemos is the more kind of well-rounded striker. But on the ground, I think that both girls can have advantages if they get in certain positions. I think this is where Souza's got a best chance of winning this fight, is getting it to the ground and trying just winning longer periods in there. Like I say, I don't really want a hell of a lot to do with this fight. But if I was to take a shot on this fight, it would be Lavinia Souza plus 195. That looks like it's going to go up more. Either that, people are going to see this number and they're like, that's too high, and start betting this one down. But like I say, I don't want anything to do with this fight. Lavinia Souza is my pick. I'm not super confident. I think I was just taking a shot. I think it could be potentially a close fight, so I'll take my shot on that. If that was to get to, I don't think it would get any higher than plus 210. If it was to get any higher than that, that might kind of tempt me a little bit, because I do think the line would be a little bit off. But for the most part, I'm going to stay away from that fight, and let's see, let the best women kind of win with that one there. This guy here, this Sean Brady, I've been off work this week, and I've really dug into this kid, and I've looked into him a hell of a lot, and I think this kid could be the real deal. I think he could be a very good fighter that could establish himself as a top 10 fighter, in my opinion. But he's got the vet lesson here. He's fighting a guy that could potentially give him the vet lesson, is what I'm trying to say. And Jake Matthews, who's a UFC vet of 6-7 years with a lot of fights, with some decent wins on his record. I mean, Li Jingliang's a great win to have. But look at some of his losses. Some of his wins, I should say. Anzai, Ackman, Meat can't stop a takedown. Diego Sanchez is shot at this point. And like the 3 fights that we've seen in the UFC, that's a great win against that established guy. A lot of fights in the UFC. Nardiev, I think, is a decent striker, but couldn't stop the takedown and just the overall top pressure from Sean Brady. And this was just a beautiful mounted kind of guillotine choke against Christian Aguilera. I am very, very close to betting this guy in a parlay. And if you look in the kind of drop-down box below, I am looking at Mario Bautista, but I could switch that Bautista one over to Israel Adesanya, which is what I'm kind of thinking. My initial play on this was Brady and Bautista in a parlay, which I think is plus 115 here in the UK, which I actually quite like. I like parlays around about that number. You can double your money and make a little bit more on top of that. So I always try and look for plus money on my parlays if I can. And I like everything with this guy. I think he's striking solid. I think that his grappling's really, really good. I just think he needs that step up in the kind of caliber names that like a Jake Matthews who's been around in the UFC for a long time, a black belt under Daniel Gracie. I just really like everything I see from this kid. And like I say, Jake Matthews, really solid fighter in some spots, but sometimes I think his performance he drops the ball a little bit. This is always going to show in your record that he's got to win against Li Jingliang, but quick finish there. This was not a good decision in my opinion. I thought that was a horrible fight. This wasn't much better, and he should really be taking out someone like Diego Sanchez at this point in his career. So I like Sean Brady. I'm really thinking I'm going to parlay him. He's going to be a big piece for me on DraftKings this week. So yeah, I like Sean Brady. The odds in America, minus 210, that's coming down. It's shorter here in the UK. It's minus 200 at Betfair, I think it is. And what is he by submission? I think he wins by decision, plus 140. Brady wins by submission is plus 410. That's not too bad. That's actually not bad at all. I don't mind that. I wouldn't mind if I was taking shots on parlays. That's something I wouldn't mind. Brady inside the distance plus 250. Not all bad, I suppose. But yeah, I like Sean Brady. I'm going to probably use him as a parlay piece. I've had some people say he's a little bit sketchy, maybe is that? And I'm like, I'm not sure. Moving on, Carlos Ulberg against Kennedy into Chukwu. This is one here. I've picked him as my prediction. The longer this fight week goes on, I've got a feeling that this guy is going to show some vast improvements. And I've got no real reason to think that outside making an assumption, because we've not seen him in nearly coming on 2 years, and what we have seen him has not been overly great. Win over Darko Stosic, and lost to Paul Craig. But I've got this feeling he's going to start making big strides in his gym. He's probably been learning a lot of stuff. This guy is still 3-0, 5-0. Some people are saying different. Advanced kind of kickboxing background as well. Looks a good striker, but I've not seen enough of him to really feel confident in any pick. I'm seeing people parlay him up, and I think it's more a fade on this kid here than Ulberg's kind of overall talent and what we've seen so far. So I'm having no part of this fight. If I was, I would take the dog. I think that, like I say, he's not got anything that really stands out into Chukwu, but I think if he was to maybe initially stay around early, he could maybe grind out a decision win here, but I don't want any part of this fight here, in my opinion. I think that it's a fight I've probably not got a good run, but minus 250, no way would I ever be playing that whatsoever. Like I say, I take the shot in the dog, plus 210. I actually quite like the over, minus 165. I think that hits. What's some of the props on Kennedy that might kind of show out? I kind of think that Kennedy will win. Geez, look at that number. Kennedy by decision, plus 575. I think that's the way. If he's going to win, I don't think he stops Ulberg, but I think that plus 575, if you're looking for a prop there, like I said, I would just play him straight. I wouldn't be fucking around with props or anything like that. But yeah, I wish you all the best. If you guys are taking a shot on Kennedy, or if you're parlaying, if you're parlaying Carlos Ulberg up let me know why you guys are doing that, because I just don't see the thought process behind it. But again, everybody sees different things. So I'll get back to the chat in a little bit there, but I'm just going to move on to this next fight. Tim Elliott against Jordan Espinosa. I was not overly confident when earlier on in the week, but as this fight week goes on, I think that Tim Elliott's got an opportunity to possibly get a submission here, possibly win a decision here. Like I say, it's only positives that he's back in the win column. He's moved back to Missouri to be with Glory MMA and everything. He's been talking about him and James Gallagher sparring away. And he says he feels in the best spot in his life with this one here. Like the betting odds, he is an underdog as well, I believe. Or at least he was earlier on the week. So it's minus 105. So he's went to a pick him. He was like plus 110 earlier on the week. So that's moved a little bit. I want no part of the fight. I would like dog money in Elliott if I was going to take a shot. I'm sticking with that pick, but him via submission is something I would look at. Plus 410. What's the totals for this one here? Over 1.5 minus 325. Under, what's the under 2.5? Plus 160. I'd probably like a little bit more than that. Tim Elliott's going to be the pick for me, guys, in that one there. I think that he can win out a decision. I think he's got submission capabilities of subbing this guy here. So my pick's going to be Tim Elliott to win that one there. Moving on, staying in the flyweight division. In fact, 3 fights in a row in the flyweight division. After Joseph Benavidez, I'll get back to the chat there and see what you guys are saying. Kai Kara-France against Rogerio Bontorin. I picked Bontorin as my official pick in this one. I'm going to stick with, but I was thinking of a possible bet on Bontorin, and I think that he's got an opportunity in this fight because I think Kai Kara will give him an opportunity. I don't see Kai Kara-France. I see him being round about this number, just inside a top 10 guy in the world. Bontorin, I think, has the potential to maybe be a little bit higher, but to me, I don't think Kai Kara-France will ever be your prototypical top 5 guy. He's had a couple of losses. Got submitted by Brandon Royval, got lost to Brandon Moreno, 2 not bad losses at all. With his win being in against Tyson Nam, he just didn't throw enough. Mark De La Rosa is no longer in the UFC, and that was potentially a little bit of robbery if it was in another country. It was in his home country, and he managed to get that one there. And his only loss on the Bontorin side is to Ray Borg, who maybe should even have lost this one against Magomed Bibulatov. So the odds in this one at the minute are, look, you can see there, plus 115, minus 135. That's came down a little, I believe. I think Bontorin opened definitely at a higher line. Look at that. If you got that number, shit, I would be all over that. Plus 175. I didn't realise it opened that big. I thought it was round about plus 150. But if you got the plus 175, I think you're on to a really good opportunity of potential winning that. I don't know why you'd be betting minus 205 there. But obviously the striking in this fight is probably more on Kai Kara-France. He is the better overall striker, where I think that Bontorin's got some heavy hands. He's got some grappling there. I think that's what he has to do. I really think he needs to mix it up here and try and tire out Kai Kara-France, because Kai does start to wane in the middle part of the fight. Not saying Bontorin doesn't, because he's shown spots in the past that he has there. So, like I say, if I was making a jump onto this fight here, I would probably, I'm going to pass, because the line I would like a lot more in Bontorin, like plus 140 maybe, to maybe even think about betting that. But the line's closing up a little bit. Maybe a little bit of value coming on to Kai Kara-France if you're on that side of the fence with him. But yeah, I would pick that one there. Moving on, we're still in the flyweight division. Now, this is one here I very rarely change picks through the week. But actually, I think this is a pick that I would change. I picked Askarov when I really... just watching the interviews with Joseph Benavidez, and I know it's just watching interviews, but I feel when I watch some fights back, I did today, because like I say, I'm off. Kid was at nursery, and I was just watching some fights back and watching some fights for next week. And this guy is such a good wrestler, and he's such a good scrambler. On the feet, I just don't think this guy's got the power to really hurt him. And I know he's been hurt numerous times recently. He's been bludgeoned by the guy who's the top of the division. But outside of that, he beats everybody else. Perez, this seems like a spot like the Perez one where everybody seems to be writing him off and he'll come through here. But this guy's shown that he's a very, very good adept fighter as well. Split with Brandon Moreno, win over Tim Elliott, and win over Pantoja, which in my opinion is a great win because I rank Pantoja as a top 5 guy in that division. But to me, skill for skill, I think Benavidez can absolutely win this fight as a dog here. I think he can stop the takedowns. I think on the feet, he's just got a little bit more overall game than what Askarov has. But he's 36 years old. He's taken a lot of damage. He knows he's not going to get another title shot. He's come out and said that in the interviews that I've watched. And so what's he really fighting for? But I think he's just a solid veteran fighter that can still win fights in the UFC. So I've switched my pick up from Askarov over to Benavidez. And betting-wise, the only bet I would make on this is Joseph Benavidez at this plus number. I actually think he should be capped a little bit, like maybe he should be reversed, minus 120 to plus 100. And Benavidez is kind of tempting me a little bit. But like I say, I think a pass is probably the best bet, in my opinion. What's Benavidez via decision? Benavidez by decision plus 260. That I don't hate. I'll be honest with you, that I don't hate. Plus, if I would have liked a little bit higher on that, but can't grumble at plus 260 when his betting line's plus 100. So, and I very much doubt that he stops Askarov. So his most prominent way of winning is probably by decision. So plus 260 to me is not a bad bet whatsoever. So, like I say, I'm back on the Benavidez side. I've cashed him in some spots like this in the Perez one where people seem like most people were back on the opposite side. But yeah, I just don't think he's got the power to really hurt Joseph Benavidez and really, really, really hurt him. And like I say, like really hurt him. We know that Askarov, I think he dropped Tim Elliott. He hit him right in the chin. So he's got something there. I just don't think he's got outlier power that that can knock him out. So I'm going to go back into the chat there. Cruz by decision, plus 175. Good value. I think that was plus 200 earlier on in the week. If you got that, that's a great number. If you're talking about the Dominick Cruz fight. Do you think Jan will be underdog by fight night? If so, if he was to stab? Put it this way, and I know we've not gotten this fight yet. I am going to be betting a lot of money on Jan this week. And I don't know whether it's the fan inside me, because I am a fan of both guys, but I've been watching, I went back and just watched his fights. I know you watch his old fights in ACB. The guy's an absolute savage. He's a tank in there, and he's so good overall. He's such a good fighter. But he's against a really good guy in Aljamain Sterling, who I definitely think is the second best guy in that division, with Cejudo not being here. And then you've got Sandhagen. So I don't know whether he hits plus money. I'm happy with what he's at now. I want that plus money because I just think that it'd be a nice to see there. Moise Audio, I hope you're well, mate. No I am brew tonight, brother. But Lemos via KO. That could happen if Souza tires out. Souza from moderate fave to moderate dog bizarre. It is very much so. Souza is so low volume to trust her. That's right. Brady looks good. I think Brady is better than Matthews everywhere. Everyone is on Brady's spell. Something weird might happen Saturday. I've not seen as many people on Brady. I think there's a lot of people on other guys that are showing up a little bit. But I just think as a parlay piece, Brady to me looks really, really solid. I'm angry at Matthews for making me watch Sanchez for 3 rounds here. I know what you mean. Rob Brown betting, what's happening, my man? Hope you're very, very well. Here's another very, very good cap out there who's got a great record, and he's a lot more, what's the word I'm looking for? Disciplined than I am. That's the word. Very disciplined. Picks maybe one better card and kind of goes with it. So hope you're well, Rob. Hope you cash this weekend, my man. You get Ulberg. Santos and Rakic, hard fight to call. I'll get in that net. I got Kennedy. Good luck if you're betting that side. Could be a little bit sketchy at times, but who knows? Santos is decent money back. Oh, shit. What's on the computer here? There we go. Minibus. What's up, Martin? It's Juicy John G. Farley from Betting Sharks. Hope you're well, John. Askarov going to catch him. 36 with a lot of miles on the body. I agree, but it's still, I think, a step up from what Askarov's faced. Askarov and crack. Well, we kind of seen him hit Elliott with a fairly decent shot, so. Yeah, Brady by sub. Sterling can't wrestle for more than 2 rounds. He tires himself out. Well, we'll see about that. So I think we're halfway through the card. I think we're on to, where are we at? We are at Benavidez. No, we're not. We're at Dominick Cruz and Casey Kenny. This is where I have my first bet in the card, guys. My only bet so far. In fact, we've missed a fight here, my bad. Phillips against Song Yadong. This is another fight that everyone, this is where someone said in the chat that everyone seems to be on Brady. Everything that I'm seeing seems to point to this guy, everyone being the kind of Twitter mush. Everyone seems to be on Phillips. The kind of betting line kind of shows that. Sorry, I went on and fucking went into the wrong screen there. Sorry, guys. My bad. Still shite at this. Aye. I'm going on about Twitter mush and people are going on about that. Like, but everyone seems to be on Brady. Everyone seems to be on this dude that I've seen. I've had people come and ask me messages about this guy. Should I bet him as an underdog? Should I do this? And I do think the kid has a lot of talent. Actually, he's a guy that's been around for a long time through the Tough Show, where he lost to Brad Katona, went out there, lost a split, which I think that it was very close. Victor Henry's actually a really good fighter. And then he's come into the UFC after that head kick knockout, beat Gabriel Silva, who just got cut, who I actually still think is a solid fighter. But this, people are taking far too much away from this fight, in my opinion. Cameron Nels, I think, kind of gave up in that fight once he started getting taken down. Where this guy's fought the far higher caliber opposition. People hate him because he's probably maybe should have lost these 2 fights. I actually think he deserved to win this one. Went back and watched it. I kind of gave it to him. I think it's very, very close though, but that's subjective. And then, like you say, you've seen what he's all about in this fight here, where that if you throw like naked leg kicks and leave yourself wide open, this guy can crack and knock you out big time. The line was moving to the point there where Phillips was down to, I think it was plus 115. Just watching Liverpool on the TV here, and they're about to lose again at home, which is not great. So if I could have got Song Yadong at minus 125, I think I would have probably taken a shot in Song Yadong. But now the odds are minus 150. I don't really like that so much, but I think that he's got an opportunity to win the fight, a good opportunity. I'm seeing a lot of people, like, if they are confident in Phillips. I think that inside the distance for Phillips is plus 460. I don't think he stops him. I think he can win a decision. He could possibly submit him. But to me, there we go, plus 245. What's Phillips inside the distance? Phillips inside the distance, plus 460. I don't like it. I don't think he stops Song Yadong. Song Yadong via knockout, plus 255. That has a possibility. If I was to make a play, I would like a straight kind of pick on Song Yadong. That would be my pick in this one here, but I need something below minus 125. But I kind of still see some value at minus 150. I just like a bit of a lower line, especially in this card with different spots that I like. So, yeah, I'm going to pick Song Yadong. No bet in this fight. Like I say, if I have no money riding it, I wish all the best with this guy. But this guy seems to be the Twitter mush. I'll go and have a look, and we'll see what's going on at Bet MMA and just see if the Twitter mush is kind of all relevant in this spot. Sorry, guys. I should have had that ready. See what the line are people's betting this, because this seems to be the mush that I'm seeing through Twitter and people betting them. Dominick Cruz. Yeah, so look at that. A lot of people, I mean, these numbers are like plus 140, and that's a decent number. Don't mind that, but there's a lot of, thing is what's kind of this, there's a lot of green on there, a lot of green on this side. take all that what you will. I always have a little look and just to see where people are on and that side there. But like I say, this seems to be the guy that everyone seems to be talking up. I mean, if you got that number plus 165, that's a great number. Plus 160, I wouldn't mind odds at that. But yeah, my pick's Song Yadong. I'm kind of sticking to that. Next up, Dominick Cruz, Casey Kenny. My first and only bet that I have in this card so far. I got Dominick Cruz plus 125. And I'm, like I said, I don't know what it is. I feel really confident that he could potentially win a very kind of unanimous decision here. I think this is a clear step down from anything he's faced. I think you're getting someone this year. I don't see him as top 15. I see him as just being outside. So it's only give or take a few spots. But I don't think he's beat anybody recognisable to put himself into that top 15, in my opinion. So, and then you've got the former world champion, obviously coming off 2 losses, obviously coming off 2 fights, 4 years, lost to a prime performance from Cody Garbrandt there. And then Cejudo, I don't think that fight was as bad for him as initially a lot of people kind of are making out. I think he tried to make adjustments and then got caught in the second round there. So, but I think he's got a style here that is going to frustrate the life out of this guy. And I think his path to victory is to try and obliterate the legs of Dominick Cruz and stop him from feinting, stop him throwing from angles, whatever it may be. But I like I say, in this spot, I really like Dominick Cruz. I think that, and I got him, he got up to plus 125. He's plus 110. So to me, there's still value in that number. I think these should be reversed. That's just my opinion. Someone mentioned Dominick via decision. I don't mind that. I've seen some people plus 160. I've seen some people at plus 200. I don't mind that at all, honestly. I think that's not a bad bet because I don't have very much doubt he's going to come out here and knock out Casey Kenny, who's a very durable fighter himself. I like Dominick Cruz this week. I think that he's a spot that I really, really like. I only put 2 units down, a couple of £100, 250 quid actually, but I really like the spot for him. I really do like the spot for him. So hopefully, see, I don't believe that this here, unofficially, Yadong should be 2 in his last fights. I don't believe that at all. The Nathaniel Wood Casey Kenny fight was very impressive performance, but good luck. I'm not touching that one. I thought it was a very close fight, so I thought like some people scored it for him. I think I gave enough to Kenny to win that fight, but then again, I'm biased to the Brit. I can get like that sometimes, guys. So yeah, but I'm on the Dominick Cruz side, and I think that some other short people I know are on there. But if you're on the opposite side to me, I always show the best. Let the best man win. Let the fighters duke it out and see who comes to the fore there and wins that fight. So we're on to the main card now. Like I say, the bets I would like is Dominick Cruz straight and Dominick Cruz by decision. They've been brought up already. So yeah, main card time. I'm seeing a lot of love for this guy. Maheta, Thiago Santos against Alexander Rakic. And before I even started watching some fights of these guys, I thought you get dog money in this guy who's a brute, who can finish with one shot very, very quickly. I'm thinking, right, okay, and then you get dog money beside him. Plus 137, I've seen him at plus 145 and above as well. Minus 57 in the comeback on Alexander Rakic. I just think it's an overall, and this guy's like 37, 38 with that big power. I think I'm still not fully sold on Alexander Rakic, but I have a feeling this is a good style matchup for him because I think he can take the fight. I think he can be on the feet. I think he can be competitive. And I think that he can mix it up a little bit more. I think he's got more paths to victory. I think he can strike. I think he's got big power, good low kicks. But obviously he doesn't want to be fucking around with Thiago Santos in the feet because that's how he wins fights very, very easily. So, but he's coming off some big injuries, a couple of losses, come out there and tried to beat on Glover Teixeira, cashed a really good number in that old geezer there last time out. Opened at plus 185. If you were to get if those kind of odds, then I don't blame you for taking shots at that one. That's egregious. Minus 265 on Rakic is bollocks. So yeah, like I say, there was people on and Bet MMA, because like I said, I always have a look through this here, and I'm going the wrong way. Yeah, more people are on Rakic, so yeah, you can see all that there. Everyone seems to be on the Rakic side a little bit more, but the bigger bettors might start to go in here over the weekend. You've got this jobber here, UFC Bro Picks, in there. So yeah, I like Rakic. I think he can mix up a little bit more and kind of win the fight through that. So that's kind of where I'm going on that side there. Let me see what it says. If I was to pick a prop, I don't think he knocks him out. I think he wins by decision. So let's check that out. Rakic wins by TQ plus 240, plus 215 for Santos. Wins by decision plus 230. Don't think that's a bad look, but sometimes, like I say, Rakic, when he fought Devin Brown, Devin Clark, whatever the hell his name is, Devin Clark, I didn't like the way he was kind of swinging there and got swung around like a little bit of meathead and get hit with some shots he shouldn't have, and then he mixed up a little bit and went to the grappling side of things and kind of won through that. And he did that with the Smith fight. His fight IQ was a little bit, I wasn't sure. I thought he could have taken him out in the feet there and decided to kind of go the other way. So I've got Alexander Rakic in that one there. That's where I'm going to go. Islam Makhachev against Drew Dober. I am very close to betting this guy here, Islam Makhachev. And I'm really thinking hard about him inside the distance. Predominantly, I think it's going to be by submission because, I mean, you can go and have a look, and obviously this guy's got submission losses on his record. He's got 2 or 3 of them in the UFC. I can't remember off the top of my head who they are. Beneil Dariush was obviously one of them. I just looked up there. Leandro Silva, that was a bollocks one back in the day as well. Auburn Mercy. So he's been submitted a few times there, and I really think that Islam is due a finish. I think it's a great opportunity for him to finish because I think he's going to control this on the mat. So I think he's going to have opportunities to get submission. So I'm really close to betting this fight by, I think in the UK over here, Makachev is plus 250 or plus 275 to win inside the distance. So Makachev wins inside the distance. So that's came down. Like you can see, it's going down there. Plus 220 was higher than that. I think we're getting a better number in the UK here. I think it's plus 250. I noticed earlier on. Submission, I think here in the UK is plus 400. Now, I like that. So it's plus 380. We probably opened around about there, yeah. So I really like him inside the distance. I've got a funny feeling he's just going to pull it off. But like I say, I need to be careful with prop bets because I'm just shocking. I'm not good at them at all. Like I said, I've been a little bit sharper this year, but I've only had a couple of them. So it's a kind of small sample size to really be kind of taking that much confidence with. But I do think that this is a viable option here. So the bet that I would make... Oh, sorry, guys. I left that comment on the screen there. My bad. I kind of like Islam by submission and inside the distance, but I suppose I could put a half unit on him by submission. But I'm not sure. I'm going to wait on this and see if the line will probably come down because it will get bet down. It's weighing day tomorrow. I've just got a funny feeling he's going to get a stoppage here and pronounce himself into that top 10 in the division and try and fight some of those better guys up top there. So, yeah. Rakic's 2-punch combos to high kick combos are nasty. I see him leading on it to a KO. That'd be nice. I could see Santos beat him up in the first round, then Rakic playing it smart and outbox him for the decision, possibly. Small Cruz. Rakic can get takedowns as well. Plus 230 ain't bad. 4 submission losses in the UFC. Can Rakic do to Santos what he did to Smith? I think he can, personally. Rakic didn't show much killer instinct in his 2 fights. Has some devastating goals, but seems to be GSP in his last fight versus Smith. I agree. I think there's more to him, but I think if he's fighting smart, especially against a guy who can knock your block off in Santos, then it might not be the worst thing in the world to do. Let's move on to the fight that I am really looking forward to in this one here. Where am I doing? Where am I going? We are going to Petr Yan against Aljamain Sterling. Best fight this weekend, in my opinion. Huge fans of both guys. Like I say, if you've been around my channel long enough, you probably heard me say once, or way back in the day, that I thought this guy would fight for a title. I said the exact same with this guy. I didn't think he'd do it inside of 2 years. I thought he'd be a top 5 guy with the potential to be a title challenger. Christ, he did it inside a couple of years. This is one of my most favourite guys in the whole of MMA that I love to watch, is Petr No Mercy Yan. He has got some unbelievable fights, and he's got that killer instinct in fights, and he's just got an overall great game. Like, I implore you that if you've not watched this guy's fight with Magomedov, he lost the first fight via split decision, which I think he probably should have won. It was a 48-40 decision, 48-48 decision in this one, and I had it closer to 50-45, at least a 49-46 for Petr Yan, but it was lined a lot closer. This was an unreal performance. It's on YouTube. Go check it out. And then since then, I mean, he's just made, this is another great win against Matos, knocked him out. Then he just came in here and he's blew through these guys. Had a little bit of problem against Jinsu Sun, who was a little bit active at distance there. And he's not the biggest guy, so it's hard to kind of, for him to get inside. But once he finds a way, he finds a way. He did it in this fight here, where he was inside, like just in a very close space with Douglas De Andrade and absolutely brutalized him. Beat tough guys than John Dodson. He had troubles in this fight, but eventually mixed it up a little bit. This is when he started to really come to the fore with his boxing, in my opinion. And then he beat Uriah Faber. That fight should never have been made, let's be honest. But this was a low-key fight of the year last year, in my opinion. I thought it was a great fight. But there was only one clear round that I thought Aldo won, and that was the second. 2 and 3, he just absolutely destroyed Jose Aldo, in my opinion. And then you've got Aljamain Sterling here, who's, I mean, he's just got a very hard style to get ready for. And he's shown since this loss here, this was the best thing that probably ever happened to him, catching that knee to the chin. And then he's rattled off, in my opinion, this is an absolute great run of wins here. But he is claiming that Petr Yan hasn't fought anybody in the division, which to me is sacrilege, considering he beat Jimmy Rivera, who you've also beat. But the fact that for him to say that he's beat 2 old guys to win the title, in my opinion, is bollocks. I think it's a lot of shite, personally. But obviously what he did here, got the back, took Corey Sandhagen out. That's probably what he's going to look for in this fight. Munoz, that was a great win there. You kind of saw all his striking really come together in that one there, where he fights at distance, throws good kicks, and he doesn't throw singular shots. That's what I love about Aljamain Sterling's new striking. He's dangerous with his length. He's varying attacks. But I think he's not going to stand with Petr Yan. There is absolutely no way that he's going to stand with Petr Yan for 25 minutes. I'd be very, very surprised if that happened. Because if he does, he's going to catch a shot and he's going to get hurt at some point in this fight, because this guy hurts you regardless. So he needs to get them down to the ground and he needs to get the back, in my opinion. But I still think this guy is very hard to get down. You watch some of his fights and he's such a good scrambler. He's went to American Top Team. I watched a great thing earlier on regarding Petr Yan's move over to American Top Team, because Thailand's been kind of shut down. Like -110 for this guy. The people have been betting Aljo to get him down to pick him here, which is fair enough. If you see what you like in this fight, go with the guy that you like in the fight. And obviously people love Aljamain Sterling. And if he comes in here and he does get the back and he does get the submission and fair play, I just don't see it happening. I do not see it happening. I don't see large spots of this fight where he's going to be on the ground and dominating this guy. So I'm going to bet Petr Yan 100%. I'm going to bet him this week. I'm just trying to wait out, see if I can get that +100 number, but I'm more than happy with -110. And I like another bet in this fight, and it's Petr Yan to win in rounds 4 or 5 or decision. And that's +200, I think. So I'd probably throw a unit on that, and I'm thinking 3 units as of right now on Petr Yan. So that's kind of where I'm going. Love the fight. I think that Yan is an absolute savage. I think that Aljo's just one of the tougher guys in the division to face. And but my lean, I think I've got a good lean, but you can never tell where I fight, is with Petr Yan, because, like I say, Aljo is really, really difficult to game plan for. But I think if he stops these takedowns, initial few takedowns, and he doesn't lose rounds early on, I think that Petr Yan is just going to start busting him. And we've not seen Aljo go 5 rounds before. I think in the Pedro Munoz fight, I think he started to get a little bit tired in that third. And this guy doesn't stop. He pushes a pace every step of the way. So I'm on Petr Yan. I'm going to be betting him tomorrow probably. If the betting line's still minus 110 on Saturday morning, then I'll wait till the end of the year. Because the thing is, with America, your lines move a lot quicker than ours does. So when your line moves in America, ours is quite slow to kind of rectify over here. So I've got a little bit of time there, and I like that prop bet. It's one of my favourite prop bets. It's rounds 4, 5, and by decision. I hit that last week with Cyril Gane. He was plus 188, I think, in that spot. So I think it'll be around about that plus 188 and plus 200 odds there. So I think by now you know that I like Petr Yan. I can see some of you guys in the chat there. I wouldn't be surprised if he almost beat Sharon. That could happen if he gets his back. Such a good price on Yan and Dom Cruz parlay. I wouldn't just play it straight. Don't parlay them. Not I don't know how much you're betting in that, but I know I wouldn't be betting. I'd bet Dom Cruz straight. I'll be betting Petr Yan straight. So don't bet even money. There we go. That's GRMMA said it correctly there. There we go. Petr opened as a favourite. I was pleasantly surprised. He's at even money. I had to take the shot. Absolutely. It's good. I think it's a good spot here. Sterling doesn't have the defense to avoid Yan's power. A fighter has to be defensively sound and move backwards out of range. Sterling comes forward, exactly what Yan wants. Sanhagen gave him the TD. I bet that prop on Paddy Power UFC betting experience. It is my favourite prop. Is that, especially in spots like this, where I think Aljo can hang tough if he can't get those takedowns. But I think once it goes into 4 and 5, and then you've got the decision one there, nearly 2-1, plus 180, plus 188, plus 200 range. That's a crazy line in my opinion, because he's like not going to. I don't think he takes him out in the first few rounds. So I like that spot. I'm probably going to bet that spot as well. So I'm going to have probably about 500 quid's worth of money on this fight rolling in Petr Yan. So yeah, one of my bigger fights. I'm having a lot of money on a guy, so that's going to be interesting. So I'll just stay in the chat here. I think Elon Cruz is going to get KO'd. I don't. I think he wins the decision, but good luck if you're playing Cruz inside the distance. Plus 200, great line there. Lock Timothy Elliott in at plus 800 for a sub. That's a good price in my opinion. That's something I probably should have brought up. So yeah, Aldo shot an unpredictable takedown after 4 minutes 15 of striking, and Yan punished him. Absolutely. So you guys can see the spot as well. But if you're on the Sterling side and you got plus money, I can't grudge on you in that. So yeah, let's move on to the next fight here, guys. I'm going to go and get back into this one here. We've got Amanda Nunes against Megan Anderson up next. And I'm seeing some people take shots on Megan Anderson inside the distance, like plus 1100. I get it. I do. She's a big girl. She hits hard. But this is, I mean, you're going from, Jesus, I mean, she's going from Fernanda Santos and Norma Dumont to the greatest woman fighter of all time. Norma's shown that she's probably going to end up being a half-decent UFC fighter. I don't think this girl is. But you can only beat who's in front of you. When she's faced anybody that's any like decent, and when I say decent, Spencer's good, but you've seen what Amanda Nunes did to her. She's got the knockout potential, I suppose, because she's a big girl. She's a natural 145er, where Nunes, she'll be decent at that size. I mean, look, she's just beat everyone. Every champion you can imagine she's beat. Shevchenko a couple of times, Holm, Cyborg, and she takes them out for them predominantly. Jermaine Duranami, I don't think that was a great performance from her. I don't think that was an overly great performance, but I think a lot of people are using the narrative of her being a mum and how things are going to be different. And it's like, well, the baby's not going to be in the cage with her when she's fighting, so it shouldn't really affect her when she's at work. But I just see Amanda Nunes taking this fight to the ground. I don't think she'll fuck around in the feet with Megan Anderson and give her any opportunity to use that length. a minus 1,000. If you're playing that, that's kind of crazy to me. But this is a prop only kind of fight for me. Don't like that. Plus 120. This is what I like. Oh, Christ, I thought that was going to be higher. Plus 165. So Nunes inside the distance, minus 365. So I don't know. What's Herbert Nunes by decision? Plus 330, 535. I want no part of this fight, guys. I think you can probably tell that I'm going to sit back and watch Amanda Nunes probably win pretty comprehensively there inside a couple of rounds for me. Moving on, we've got the main event of the night. We've got Jan Blachowicz defending his UFC light heavyweight championship against the undisputed 185-pound middleweight champion in Israel, the last style bender Adesanya. I'm seeing some people on the Blachowicz side, which is fair enough. He's plus 200-ish in that range, plus 190, plus 200 in some spots, depending on America. I think he's around about that number here in the UK. And the line's kind of coming down on it a little bit. Money's coming in Izzy. And this, I can see him as a parlay piece. But honestly, the closer this fight gets, I think that this guy, I see it in my prediction breakdown, it's like he's a general in there. He dictates every move which happens in that fight. That's why you get people like Yoel Romero not doing anything. That's why you get people like Paulo Costa, who's claiming he was drunk the night before. This guy pretty much puts you into a lull where he's making the moves and he's putting you into positions where he can, and he'll win a boring decision. He doesn't care. You've seen that in the Romero fight. As long as he's staying out of the way of those big bombs. And then this fight here was just a great display, like a big knockout there inside a couple of rounds and blitzed him. Now he's moving up to 205. There's all this talk of him going to be 193. Now, would it surprise me if he was around about that number? No. But I've got a funny feeling he's going to be around about that 200 mark coming in here. And I just think that he's going to dictate this fight from the get-go. I think Jan has to try and get his hands on him, maybe clinch him up, tire him out a little bit. But we've seen that Izzy can go hard for 25 minutes and be in wars. But like I say, if you're carrying this guy's weight and the power that he has, then that could exponentially tire you out, especially if you're not used to that division. But he has fought at heavyweight in his kickboxing days. He's fought at light heavyweight as well. So I just see this fight going, I think Izzy kind of first couple of rounds wins the rounds fairly easy. I think he picks his shots well, avoids the big shots of Blachowicz. And then I think towards the middle part of this fight, the third and fourth round, I think that Jan's going to get more aggressive, and I think that he's going to come forward and get caught, get sniped with something. I've got that funny feeling that he's just too flat. He's so good with angles and feints and different speed of his strikes. Like he can just throw a couple of shots out there, long ones, but then throw a nice like speedy combination. I like Israel Adesanya. I like him via knockout in the mid part of this fight. Plus 160, I don't mind that, but I kind of like I say, if I'm thinking mid part of this fight, he wins. Adesanya round 4, plus 1275, plus 875. This is kind of where I'm looking or into that one there. So I like Adesanya. I wonder what the betting odds on him in 4-5 and by decision. That might not be something. I mean, you've got 15 minutes to avoid catching a shot from Izzy there. So I like Adesanya to win via knockout there. And I think in the mid parts of that fight, I think that Jan will start to get frustrated. He's going to start making bigger plays towards him, and then I just think he's going to get caught with something. And people are going on. I've seen people say that Izzy hasn't got that much power to put down someone like Jan Blachowicz. I think that is, I don't agree with that whatsoever. So I think that he can absolutely put him down. So yeah, I'm on Izzy via knockout. So guys, that is my picks here in the cash lift. Hopefully that you guys are going to win some money this weekend. Hopefully I can continue my good run. It's bound to end sometime soon, but we will see. I'll go back in the chat here. If Megan can defend takedowns and wear out Nunes in the process, it could get interesting. It could. Megan v. bad takedown defense though. Don't fall for the 4-5 or decision. The finish is coming early. In the Peter Yan one, I like later in my opinion, but all the best if you do 1, 2, and 3. What's up there? I've got a new guy in here that I've seen. Don't know how to pronounce that name. I'm not going to Mr. Laco, that's all I'm going to say. No way it gets interesting in our boxing. It's nowhere near Nunes. I agree. Nunes, Cruz better than his fighter. Really? Jeez. Mini Boss is right. Cruz is crashed too. Legendary Polish Power by Arm Triangle by Minibus there. Megan's been grappling with James Cruz for the last 2 years, sparring mainly men, but yeah, Nunes is the easy pick. It is the easy pick. But I just struggle to see anywhere that Megan's going to win this fight. So beyond trashed here. Waste of genetics. I mean, she does what she can with it, I suppose. But yeah, guys, that's my picks here for the cash lift. Like I said, I've only got one bet right now, but you've probably seen I'm going in a couple of spots there. It's pronounced Kevy. I'll remember that, Kevy. Appreciate that, because that was the awkward calling someone Mr. Laco. Guys, I really do appreciate it. My predictions are out there. You probably already watched some of it, but this is just my betting insight and talking a little bit about bets. All the guys that's in the chat there, thank you so much. If you've not given a thumbs up to the chat already, to the video, please do that. I'll be back next week for our cards there. I've watched some fights in next week. Enjoy the bet. Hope you cash all your bets and enjoy the card when it comes around this weekend, guys. Thank you so much. All the best, and enjoy UFC 259. Peace.